Welcome to this 8th session of Ergonomics for Beginners Industrial Design Perspective. Now, today we are starting module 3. Earlier we have already completed module 1 and module 2, that is module 1 that introducing ergonomics and content details. There are 2 classes were there, and then second module with 5 classes, discipline approach, ergonomics and human factors, that we have already completed. Today we are starting module number 3, that is human physical dimension concern, and here we will have total 7 classes. Now, with this, the human compatibilities and limitations in terms of anthropometry, that is human body structure and function, that we are going to discuss. Among these 7 classes, the 8th class today, human body structure and function anthropometrics. Next will be anthropometry body growth and somatotypes, then static and dynamic anthropometry, seat stand postures. Next, static and dynamic anthropometry, squatting and cross-legged postures. Class 12th session, that will be measuring techniques of this human body dimensions. Class 13, statistical treatment of data and percentile calculations, and this session will be concluded with design guidelines and anthropometric data. In design guidelines of anthropometric data, so whatever we are discussing and how its application will be there in design, with that we will conclude this module. Now, current session, in this current session we shall discuss some aspects of our body itself as physical match deciding factor for design. So, our own body, the dimension and structure and all other limitations etc., how it decides the design dimensions and parameters. Today we are going to look into these aspects with some examples. Now, in the current session we will have our body dimension and characteristics, the versatile flexibility, accommodation according to task, long duration sitting, body posture support and ambience, age and size variations, squatting posture for specific task, newness versus body, how it can cope, body support and task, proportions, body and machine working, movement and clearance, Indian dimensions requirement, body dimension and risky task, anthropometry, and the people concerned for our discussion. Now, if we see a small filmlet, there we can find that how people behave in a group, then sex variation, age variation, depending on different mood, how people behave with the varieties of body supportive devices, when people interact with some design, how their body language changes, how inherently he feels the match of designed item and his own body. So, with this we can say that the human compatibility, the physical body characteristics is based on, or it says that to establish proper interface between individual designed item or a system, human compatibility factors include his own body characteristics and behavioral constraints that makes body to take different changes, and the final effect should be within comfortable tolerance limit of physiological stress. So, now how our body behaves in different contexts and what is its limits, let us see that. Now, our body dimension and characteristics. Now, body characterized with a versatile flexibility. The person can have different positions like this, then he can extend his arms and body, even he can take a specific posture. So, for a certain task, the person needs to follow varieties of body movements. So, if we would like to limit these movements, then what would be the design solution for that? What type of design aid we can give? But for that we need to know his body dimension and how his body behaves, whether it is wrong, it is necessary, it is good, accordingly we have to do that. So, the measurement of body dimensions and range of movement is necessary. Now, it can be said that the same age group, but size varies. It is not that the man growth is as per his age. So, in certain human body or human being, the limit of growth is there. So, though the almost the same age group, but still female male variations body sizes are different. Now, the body gets acquainted according to task. Now, in this case, the many people are sitting on a horse cart. So, the position of sitting and how to climb up and get down, these dimensions, how we can fix it. We know that staircases case, but here whether we need something of that kind of thing, or this, or maybe in a design matter we can say that let this platform come down with a specific mechanical arrangement that man can simply sit on it and then the whole platform can go up. So, whatever we are deciding here, it depends on the human body dimensions and its limitations. Now, the same furniture, the how these people can feel comfortable, whether these seats are comfortable. Now, another thing we can say that in this auto rickshaw, the person, the comfort or the reach to the different controls for the driver will be different than the passengers sitting rear. So, depending on the task or requirement, the human body has to be considered, human body limitations and etc. So, we can say that body gets accommodated according to task requirement, and accordingly design can be developed. Now, another point is that this is a common feature in any academic institute. So, from here we can say that confined long duration sitting with mind to concentrate, not only sitting and doing some activity where the dynamic movement is there. So, some kind of a relaxation in body means the postural load shifting from one group of muscle to another group of muscle to hold that body position is there for dynamic conditions. But in this case what happens? They have to sit for a long time, say 3 to 4 hours continuously, and that also with a concentrating the mind. So, he may forget his body comfort at that moment, but its ultimate result will be there. So, the proper body dimension fit furniture we have to make. For that we require to understand the different body parts that will be matched with this furniture. So, human body measurement etc. are necessary. Now, if we say that how to make this ambience, that ambience should not be monotonous, it should be lively. Now, everything is in order, then it may not be that inviting ambience. Now, in this case, when visitors come or maybe in a family, now body posture, it speaks, and selection of body support means varieties of seating arrangements creates an ambience. So, while selecting these body supportive devices, the comfort should be there, and to get that comfort, human body dimension is necessary to be considered. Now, many a times we say that a design should confirm a universal requirement or to meet accessibility to for all. But the case thing is that the same design cannot fulfill all requirements, all body sizes, like all body sizes including age variations do not fit in a single type of seat as we are seeing in this figure. Then the question comes, should we make different types of seating arrangement here for to fit different body sizes, or maybe some specific attachment will be provided so that it can compensate the body size differences. For that we require to understand human body itself. Now, mostly we discuss from ergonomics point of view in available literature or books, mostly it says that sitting in a chair table condition and like that, or in a working in a machine condition where standing, leaning or sitting on a seat like that way. but there are many working conditions are there that requires like such body postures sitting on floor like that. Here the person is drilling a hole almost keeping parallel to the floor, the machine, the drilling machine, and he holds it. So, now how he can hold it, whether holding is there possible or not, or like that. So, here whatsoever, not only the full body, even the body parts like this fingers and etcetera, palm etcetera, that the dimensions are also necessary. So, the body dimension measurement, it does not mean the whole body and the major body parts, but the small movements and etcetera, these are also considered. So, it can be said that body without movement, the measurement is static measurement, and body as a whole or a component part of this in a dynamic movement condition, whatever the variations in those measurements, that will be the dynamic anthropometric measurements, and its design considerations accordingly will be done. So, body in action in a squatting posture for specific task, this type of data reference are not very much available. So, we require to consider the generation of to generate specific human body information for this type of work requirement, and the body dimensions accordingly we need to measure. Another example, why human body observation is necessary. Now, newness versus our assorted body size. Now, in this case, a specific triangular furniture is developed. Now, here what's happened? The front part is broad and back portion near the backrest is a narrow point. But actually what's happened, when man sits, his buttock comes like this way, and then the leg comes like this. So, what's happened? It requires a larger support in this area, but it is not permitted in this. So, whether the seat structure fits to our body, now the designer or manufacturer or artist or the craftsman who have developed this new product, we must understand what is our body, how body behaves in different position. If he has to use this chair, then whether it will be comfortable. For that, we need to understand the total human body dimension and its for specific behavior wise its variations, that is necessary. Another question comes, when we say that disability we mean that normally it comes to our mind that it should be permanent disabled. If we say that he is impaired with eye vision, then immediately image comes to us that he must be totally blind. So, design for something that vision is not necessary. So, with other senses he can get the feeling of the work. Similarly, the body dimension wise also the same type of understanding or image building we have. But most critical point is that temporary disability and due to progressive age, the difficulties we are going to face, it is not a permanent illness, it is gradually it comes. So, how design can support there, how our body behaves. In this figure, we are seeing that this boy has some leg problem. So, this is there, and for that a support is given to him. It is temporary. So, if we now while sitting here, he has to extend his leg, he cannot sit like this person. Should we develop different chair for this type of two requirements, or a specific attachment or something to be done, so that the same person can use the same furniture he used to use earlier, even with these difficulties. So, what could be the solution for that? That is necessary to be considered. So, not only the able body measurements, we must consider the likely to be or anticipated problems of progressive age and varieties of unknown accidental possibilities of modifying the body. So, need to support body disability of temporary in nature, use of other utility items requirements remain same, that we need to consider. Another case, this figure, the left hand figure, we have taken from a very good jewelry company, but still the person sitting, you can see like this way. So, the posture change because he has to get a vision here, his arm angle is this way. So, different body supports we require. He does not have any back support, but for to work here this elbow support is necessary, the cloth piece and etc. is placed here. Now, what type of support system we can provide here with to fit with this body dimension? Like that way, his sitting angle is like this, but this support here is a straight one. So, here there is some problem area. Now, another thing is that in this case, when this person is laying some stones, marble slabs, he has to take a wide range of back movement, back. So, now, whether design can give some solution here, so that that solution should match with his physical body requirement. Here, work adopted postures, how design can attain this. Now, human body, it requires back support. Even here, to do certain task in a relaxed mode, it requires a body support. Even in this figure, we can see that this person is using a pillar as a backrest. So, requires back support to relax. Then back relax means which portion of back should get relaxed, should be supported. So, that measurement is necessary. In this case, concern working elbow height, there is no support possible here, require arm support. So, how we can understand that from a sheet surface, how much is the elbow height, and to do certain task, what is the vision and this length is required, and accordingly some support system can be developed. Here the reach, task and work posture. So, if she has to work with various objects, various items within his control, within her control, then what? Then we must understand the normal arm length and this movement she can do with the furniture. So, these matter we need to consider. So, this is that body dimension with movement of the body requires to understand for this type of purposes. Now, a group of people are arranged here. Though apparently look alike, all people look the same typing, but whether all the furniture support they are using, whether it suits to everybody or not. The body dimensions and proportions vary with ethnic variations. So, all are not same, even all the body proportions or different among different body parts are also not same, even in that same ethnic group or in different ethnic groups. From one ethnic group to another ethnic group, that there is a total variation. So, while making any design, the human body dimension data taken from a specific ethnic group may not fully match with the other ethnic group if they want to use without any modification. For this purpose also we need to know our own body dimensions. For that measurements are necessary and understanding is also necessary. In this big airport, now as the height is too big, the space is too big, the people are here, it does not get the major filler type of appearance. Means what happens? Whatever the dimensions are here, height or whatever, in relation to this height, it becomes very negligible. But if it is within a small room or door, then the proportion of space and person volume will appear as a deciding factor for to make this door frame and etc. Now, so space and proportion feeling is there. Now, body size, male, female and origin or habitation does not conform to a single body proportion of a body. Now, while interacting with a machine for different body parts movement, the body should match with the machine dimensions. Like if he stands here, how much he can extend his arm, what is the normal height of these things, so that he can work. This is the main working area. It should not cross the heart level normally, it should be below that. So, all these considerations basically based on physiology and its dimension will come from the person's whole body data. So, body and work machine match to be established. For that, we must understand the person's working behavior with this machine and the man and machine, that direct interface we need to know. Here task and man machine match. Now, when we are going to see this one, then a specific case will appear to us that now see the person is working with a machine, with a can making machine for pineapple. Now, its total movement, the reach, the load he is supposed to carry, and then the fixing, leg movement, arm movement, everything has to be considered. So, in this case, now mostly the human body and its different movement positions, it is highly necessary for a body supportive device design or a product where or with whom he is interacting with. Now, not only the human body itself, but when he moves, it requires some specific clearance. There is an additional space to him. Like if we see this one, that everybody is sitting there in eating, but while coming out and etc., they require a specific space to be there. So, in that case, human movement and space clearance is necessary. Suppose, while sitting in a chair table condition, if you stand and want to stand up like this way, then it has the chair has to go back, so that it provides you a space to stand and to move out or come in. These are the specific clearance, and it has relation with the original body dimension. Now, as per body build, the body dimension depends. Like built differences are there between city dwellers and village group. There are many factors are influencing here, like food, genetic matter also, and other environment, and the exercise, training, etc. Now, if we want to design something for city dwellers or for rural people or villagers, this may need to be considered also. Now, in an office, Kevin, the workstation, the person, work equipment and etc., and the space around, this is the workstation. Workstation that including human body dimensions, many other human factors are considered. While operating like this, his arm is coming to this position, his arm we can say is coming like this, whereas his center is like this. So, this angle we have to maintain. So, not only the human body length and breadth, it also requires to understand the different body angle comfortably. So, this is some biomechanics of body dimensions or our whole body is also necessary to be considered. Now, when we make mannequin to follow our body dimension to fit with us, Indian anthropometric data would fulfill the Indian body dimensional requirements. The mannequin with other body dimensions may not generate a garment that will fit to our requirements. So, proper data generation effort is necessary, and now in India this data is available. So, mannequins also can be developed with our own data sets. National Institute of Design has developed a book, a data set, Indian anthropometric data for ergonomic design practice. There Indian data set is provided. Now, interaction among people of similar group, the arrangement that facilitates. Now, not only the body dimension, but here we can say that this gradation is given here, so that everybody can get a clear views. So, the eye height of this person and eye height of this person. So, what the clearance we require, accordingly this is slope is made. And the arrangement, instead of a like normal class, the all students sits in front and then teachers delivers his lecture. If we need to demonstrate something, then this type of arrangement it may be beneficial, where the person can demonstrate also the things while discussing. Task and risk. We cannot say what would be the anticipated behavior. This task, now see, she is sitting on a kitchen platform because of many factors, like from window lights coming, and also she feels comfortable, whatever. But this is the risk. So, now the whether this much space is appropriate for a person to sit, that we need to consider. Then what happens? Some training is necessary, likely to be risky affairs. How we can give this training? Through design, communication, by providing information, or making, if this is supposed to be encouraged, then give a larger space or make certain texture or something there that it discourages person to sit on it. Now, body in motion, static as well as dynamic dimension. This person, she is sitting here in a straight position, then the buttock height is something. When she tries to reach little distance, then the head height decreases and the body also comes forward and arm it reaches. So, what are the modifications take place during this dynamic task requirement? That is necessary. For this, if we want to make a special low height sitting stool, then what would be its behavior? Whether it will be a strong seat with a horizontal surface, or there must be some kind of bendings and etc. This will depend on the body posture and the body behavior on that requirement. We need to know our body dimensions. So far we have discussed whatever, and relevant characteristics that is relevant to design practice for our own benefit. Now, if we see this, human body is assorted size. We cannot grow with much food, with limitless growth is not possible. So, posing limitations to efficient assignment. If we can see these figures, now see the contexts, the mismatches. So, the design should be according to human body. One most important thing we need to consider, that a man is not transparent in this. So, if we see one person behind another person, then it is very difficult to see. Like in cars, when the front seat person sits there, the rear person sits just back, difficult to see. So, then in auditorium or some other where group of people accommodation is there, they make a little zigzag way the seat arrangement. So, that front two persons is like this way, then the next row person will be at the middle and like that. So, the viewing will be easier. Man is not transparent and has many limitations. Now, the geometry of a product and user's anthropometry must fit each other and to ensure safety as well as better function. Anthropometry, anthropo is a human, metry measurements. Now, fitting geometric proportion of body parts and dimensions of products and space around and relevant applications in workstation design, posture, task and furniture, comfort layout in space. These are necessary to be considered. Very important aspect of human body is that man occupies a specific space, that is his own volume, to his own body size and shape, and when he moves, the space also moves with him. When we are making some space arrangement, it should be considered. When he adopts different postures, the same body shape changes accordingly. Human body structure benefits and limitations and its design relevance are that differences between space occupied by an inanimate object and the man are that the human space is not only fixed, which the body physically occupies, but it needs some additional space, and this varies from task to task, even person to person, and also differs according to body proportion of an individual. This additional space requirement is clearances. Human body structure, growth pattern, somatotype and function. These are the main area of human body to be discussed. The posture, movement and biomechanics. People for whom we are concerned. Context India, Indians the potential users. So, for that, for any design we want to make for our own requirement, we need to know our own body dimensions and our body variations through cultural requirement, traditional and the original body. Context and user specific. Our context is not only the cosmopolitan context, this context also we need to consider. Going global and mass need, multicultural and heterogeneous identity of ours, that should be considered, that should be kept in our mind. People like to see themselves well built and fit with maximum range of motion in joints, and this user image association with a design development program bears the same mindset. Whereas, we all greatly differ from that image of so called standard body. There are variations of body sizes that do not always conform to perfect symmetry and proportions among body parts. All these things are necessary when we are conceiving some design for mass use, we need to know the ranges of different types of body structure. Sometimes to overcome those unwanted features, we overdo clothing and use varieties of decorations which in turn affect it negative way. Our design activity must consider various body types and limitations thereby. Our design activities are to aid all the users, not any specific user, a specific person, rather than making a design and then asking them to fit in. Measurements of body, whole and parts in standard and different adapted postures are required for various design occupations. This we are going to discuss in next session. Human body structure and its relevances to dimensional design practice. The human body benefits in we have assorted body size. Anthropometry is that deals with measurements of the human external dimensions of body parts, their strength, speed and their range of motion. The static anthropometry is that measurements in rigid and static positions in standard postures, perhaps in any specific posture, that is standing or sitting or other adopted postures, as for example, heights, lengths, breadths, depths and circumferences. The dynamic measurements are measurements in various movements taken into considerations in different adopted postures which the work context demands. Then application of these measurements. Static anthropometry is to concept generation and dynamic anthropometric considerations are to accommodate the movement and activity. These details we will discuss in coming classes. Now, we can, if we see this figure, how man behaves and what are the body part and its interaction with the work items he is operating with in a car. While going in and coming out, the differences, all design descriptions are depending on the user's body dimensions. Who will be the users? A short height user, tall height user, fat or lean and thin users. That range we have to consider, and this aspect we will discuss next classes. Now, summary to lead the next class is that this session, today's session emphasizes the human body and varied aspect of mind, is how we behave with our body towards creating situation for his own benefit. Whether function we do with effort is effect reflects on physiology. Physiological stress sometimes can be due to wrong design induced. So, we need to understand the body dimension. If it fits with body dimension, then we can say that it will be a good design. We have stressed upon the facts that assorted body sizes and shape we have a versatile nature of body, we can move variations in human body dimensions, use of the own body in a meaningful way towards improvement of our own functional abilities. Now, next session we shall discuss body indicating parameters, that is body growth, somatotypes and physiology and physical body landmarks for anthropometric measurements, its measuring techniques and its application in design. So, the next class will be next session, the class number 9 will be anthropometry, that is body growth and somatotypes. With this we are ending today's session.